All right, and this is Marcel again. I didn't even put my hand down. Okay, so now we're on to the Saturday video, which is 10/18/2025. We already had our discussion about being late and what to do about that, our new rules. Now let's get on to AI plagiarism. Now that is a very, very big thing. I am sure, well, you would have to know that it's important. You signed a document when you first got here in the orientation first day papers. There's one other place where that is written somewhere around here. And of course, in every page of the research paper, the instructions, I have written in there that you sign every week that, where is it, way down here, la 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 la. I should have put it up on the top. Please realize your paper will be checked by AI and plagiarism. I should say for plagiarism. Plagiarism can be both from AI or from you copying, a section out of a magazine and trying to use that as your paper. We had half of the class showed some plagiarism when I put their papers through the AI detector. And the only reason I did was one person had written in a way that made me shake my head and go, what? What's going on? And my little antennas came up and boom, that means they're going to be checked. I can check every single one throughout the year, or I can just pick which ones look funny, look suspicious. And that's what I've chosen to do. But I believe I should have been doing it a little bit longer because I went back on one person and found a lot more than I was bargaining for on that. I was very disappointed. Anyway, half of the class, 6 people out of the class did great on their papers and had 0 detection of any AI generated materials in it. 0%. You really shouldn't have much of any. And there was one person that had 11%, and to me 11%, they probably just made a mistake, didn't quite understand because 11 is such a small number. But we had people all the way to 100% of their paper was AI generated. I mean, that just took hey, I want it to read like this, and boom, they're off having coffee. So no, that is not what a learning establishment, what a college would find acceptable. Some colleges and universities, just being caught once committing plagiarism will get you kicked out. You'll be expelled, and that'll be on their record forever. Most of them, what they'll do is they just fail them out of the course, so they have to retake the course. Some will just zero that paper and go on. It just depends on how bad it is. If it's just one, and let's say you were 20% or something like that, well, that's nothing. In fact, we decided for at least right now, for anything to the end of your class, anything below 30%, we'll go ahead and accept that. Now, next year will be different because there should be 0. The people that worked hard and did a good job, spent the time, got the learning from it, because that requires thinking, and that's what it's all about. In the new NCLEX, from the Florida State Board of Nursing, they found so many people graduating who really couldn't think. Maybe they were just doing the AI plagiarism all the time and they didn't bother to learn how to think, because critical thinking skills is extremely important. That's how you keep people from dying underneath you. You need to be sharper than I have tried to say. You need to be on top of this. You need to be, doing well. Definitely not going into AI and having them do your paper or your self-evaluation or, other things. In fact, for those who were those below 30, there was only a couple. besides those 0, but there was only a couple that was below 30, and we're going to kind of skip over them for right now. But you need to think about what you're doing, because if you go someplace else, you may be kicked out just with that amount. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like, why isn't things being taken as serious? I just don't get it. But thank goodness we're going to cut those people a break, but only one. So this time, if you made above 30, which was 4 people, you will be zeroed out on your whatever assignments those were, and it could be more than one. All of those will be zeroed out. You will lose those points because you committed dishonesty. You committed plagiarism. That is, I just can't consume that in my brain. For a profession that is known to be honest, we're held above firemen. I mean, we are honest. Your heart should be one of a nurse, not of, I'm going to see what I can get away with or something. I don't know what you're thinking. Don't. And if you think it's okay because maybe somebody else is doing it, don't. Because anybody over 30%, everything they generate in a submission, I will be running through an AI detector. Now, we use 2. There's one Scribr, and the other one is Quillbot. And I actually bought the subscription for it. So we've got the premium, which actually is different than the free one. So I was kind of amazed, but I got read the best reviews on that one. So that's the one that I was able to get purchased as this premium Quillbots. Now, when you do anything and you want it to be double checked, just to make sure, all you have to do is just tell me it's coming, send it to me, I'll run it through the AI detector, and you'll be done. But really, you have no reason to use anything AI generated. And I tried to explain that in the very beginning, and people didn't always pay attention or care. They thought they were just going to slide on through. I don't know what was going on. But you use Google to make your outline, to decide, let's say you picked MI. So you Google MI and you look at all the different things so that you personally learn about MIs before you try to write a paper. While you're going through, you're going to see, legitimate science-based journals and stuff that have articles about your MI thing. You don't sit there and copy everything and put it in. You think. You look through all the information, writing down your resources so that you don't have to look them up again. You do all that on your notes and things. Get that done. Then you design and use your brain to make a research paper. And it's not that hard. And people laugh at me when I say that I only made you guys do 3 pages, because that's incredible. Do a 3-page paper. It's like, oh my God. And you guys are RN, so I want you to know you're really getting kind of a deal. You're getting a little bit better than most people. Most people in RN school do 5 to 10-page papers, and that's what really should have been assigned. But I just went ahead and went with 3, and we still had problems. So there's 2 choices you could do to pull that 0 out. And I'm talking to the 4 people that went as high as 100% of their paper was AI generated, 60%, 80%. We had a lot of that. You just so dishonest. So, I'm sorry, but I worry that while you're on the floor in a year, you're a working nurse, when you make a mistake and you accidentally give a patient a wrong med, are you going to try to figure out how to cheat on that? Are you going to be dishonest on that so you don't get in trouble? I don't know whether, that's like the trust is. So anyway, I want you to consider that, because you can always make yourself better. I was not, in my mind, not as good as I am right now. Back when I was 20, I was rowdy and I got into trouble and stuff, but I was never dishonest, because being a nurse was my ticket through life, being able to do whatever I wanted because the pay is so much better than, anything else. Well, most anything. So I want you to think about this. This is your chance to improve yourself, to recognize that, hey, well, I got a problem. I'm turning in assignments, one after another that I just generated off of an AI generator. And I'm going to come out of this program and everybody else's brain's been trained to think except for mine. I'll just be, whatever. I want you to think about that. I want you to think deeply about that because this is serious. And the biggest thing and the biggest way to prevent doing plagiarism. See, now I know y'all did papers in high school, and we got one instructor here that actually told me that she had you guys, her students, do a paper. So I know that you guys know what the word plagiarism means, and I know all this stuff, but I'm going to refresh it just a little bit. In plagiarism is pretty much saying that what somebody else wrote came out of your head. You were the smarty pants. It's your thoughts. It's your whatever. And that's where it really starts hitting when when that's somebody's stuff. Now, AI plagiarism is looked at just about the same. If you're not wanting to study, you're in a program, you're in a college, whatever, and you're not wanting to study, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Because maybe the people that wanted to be in the spot would have not plagiarized. So this is your time to kind of turn around and improve yourself because maybe you don't respect yourself very much. Why would you do that to yourself? You need to be the best you can be. Maybe think about that and try to improve. It's definitely nothing to brag about. It's very much you don't want to brag about it. In fact, all those that I'll be sending emails out to say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, blah, blah. If you want to get any points at all, then I don't know if I'd tell anybody else because I would not want people to look at me differently at the end because that's straight dishonesty. It's not good. It's breaking the nursing core values. Look at all that. Missed this, pass it in front of me. We have core values, and one of them is integrity and honesty. People expect us to be like that. It's so important for you to be the best person you can be. And you may have flubbed up, you may have listened to somebody and done it, and now you're like going, oh, shit, now I'm in trouble. Well, you are a little bit. Watch who you listen to. And whoever told you to do dishonest things, don't listen to them anymore because their judgment is obviously not as good as people who have been around the block a while. Ask me, hey, can I cheat on this? You think I'd get in trouble? You think that's a bad idea? Ask me. And if you're afraid to ask me something, then that should tell you something. All right, so let's keep on going. The major generators I use, again, as I said, is Scribr and Quillbot. And they almost are the same. The purchased versions of these are the ones that that new thing, chat something. They use it. That's what they can use. So just to let you know, it's two pretty good ones, and I do not expect you at all to purchase those. They're like $200 a year. If you want to have your thing double checked, just send it to me, tell me it's coming, and I'll run it through Quillbot and I'll tell you how much percentage it is. But seriously, there's no reason for you to do that as long as you don't plagiarize. Now, the main way to plagiarize, the golden rule, is to copy more than 5 words of a statement. That's it, 5 words. If you put 6 words, you trigger the plagiarism. 5 words. After that, you need to look at everything, your outline and stuff, and decide what to write. And you can write a lot of very, smart things that are 5 words or less. Let's say you have a whole paragraph, a whole line or line and a half that you can't think of a way to reword it, then just cite it. And if you don't understand how to cite by now, oh my gosh, because this is, add the book. There's only like 6 important things to follow. I don't know what to say. But anyway, keep that book, because the next place you go, that's one of the better books. When I did all of those friggin' papers I had to do for my bachelor's, my master's, we had to do papers in the ADN programs. We had to use those big fat APA books that hard to find stuff. It was rough. But those little handbooks that you all got are designed for students. And I already gave you many times the pages to go to and the model paper to look at, to double check your stuff on. And I noticed a lot more people are doing excellent perfect papers, and they're doing things APA way. And one thing I can tell you is I've yet to see anything with AI generated stuff that does a perfect APA. So that's one of the little clues. So if you aren't paying attention enough to notice that they're not even doing APA correctly, then you got a problem. All right. So anyway, let me see anything else on that subject. So what I'm going to do, or what we've decided to do, is the people who are above 30% have 2 options. They can either accept the 0 and go on, because everything that I find, I'm not searching too far, because if I search too much, someone may have to leave the program. So I actually stopped looking because I don't want to see anymore. From this point on, though, for you who are 30 and above, everything you submit until the day you graduate, I'm running through AI, an AI detector. I would be kind of embarrassed, so remember, don't tell anybody. That's what I would do. So anyway, that's just my opinion. So anyway, they have 2 options. One they can pick is just accept the 0, or 2, they are given 10 days to rewrite the paper, the self-evaluation, the whatever. Do that. They have 10 days to rewrite it. Whatever percentage that they get for earn points, like say you do the paper and it's 40 points, and you mess up on your APA and a lot and whatever, and you end up getting only 30 points for the paper. Then the percentage that you had AI generated, so let's say you generated 70% of your paper, that will be deducted from what's left. So, if you people are just choosing to just skip it and accept option 1, but you certainly can try to do the other. But you need to be real good on your APA, really, work with your booklet. There's no reason why you should have anything deducted for APA. Make sure you use no more than 5 words in any sentence. Just telling you, because the spotter will spot it. I mean, really, we have one at 100 points, another one in the 80s. I mean, it's like incredible. So just be very careful. Half of this class did not do any AI-generated stuff. Now, you wonder why these people are a little bit smarter halfway through. It's because they're actually performing. They're doing the work, because they see themselves helping some elderly person in the future as a patient or a child. You want to have all your critical thinking skills top notch. And if you cut them back and you don't do the practices and the things, it's just not going to be there. It's just not going to. No matter how much you will it or think that you're whatever, the great whatever, you will not be as good if you don't do the assignments. Which brings me to the late assignments, and I wanted to end because we're almost at 20 minutes. Late assignments, remember I told you the beginning of this course, 2 weeks ago, that I'm now deducting late again because I got so busy that I kind of set that aside, which was bad because that caused people to turn in late assignments even more. But you know what? You're an adult, so I have a very hard time accepting any responsibility. But so since I committed to this, and I told you guys that this course, we're going to get back to deducting points for late. I'm going to go back now since I'm finished, and I have to go back to some other stuff anyway. I'm going to go back and start on week 1. They're already graded, but I'm going to go hit the ones that are late, and you'll get the late deductions then. Now, that might affect your scores, but you know what? I told you to turn them in on time, so it was your choice not to turn them in on time. And it seemed like there's more than usual right now, and I think that's it, because, you know, if you think you can get away with something, you know, maybe you don't understand what it's like to see somebody die, or I don't know, what does it take to get that energy level going for you to do that? I'm not quite sure. So, I mean, I know what it's like, and you would never want to make an error. And if you make an error, you have to get on the phone to the doctor, let him know you made an error, because he's the only one that can tell you what to do now. You know, it's very important. You'd also need to tell your supervisor and your nurse manager. And you won't get fired unless you try to hide it. But everybody makes mistakes, so it'll be used as a learning tool. What was it that you did? Okay, this is how you can keep from doing that again, type thing. That is the importance, one of the biggest importances of reporting when you make an error. Everybody does. You've made errors even as LPNs that maybe you don't even know about, because they happen and maybe you're not paying attention, and that's how they happen. But now you're off to the next chore, the next task. So it's not a shameful thing to make an error. What's shameful is when you don't speak up for the patient's sake and get the correct, backup for it. All right, so that's it. If you guys have any more questions, let me see. Did I give a question for this one? I think I did. I don't know. All right, so we'll have 2. If there's already a question in there, then we're going to do this one also. So let's make it really easy. All right. So when you're caught plagiarizing a paper, since that was this topic, how many points do you get to keep? That's the question. How many points are you given for that plagiarized assignment? Just if you accepted option 1, what would be your grade? And it would be 0. So try not to do those. So I remember I told you there's one person that did more than one. So that's a lot of points to be thrown out the door just so you could, do something else. All right. You guys have a good day, and I'll see y'all here. You guys who work on Monday in the clinics, let me know how your day went. That isn't a thing that I go see. All I can do is just, hear from you guys how your day went, any ideas, any whatever to tell the next person. And on Wednesday, I'll see the rest of y'all. And that's been kind of fun. I enjoy that. So, okay. See you guys later. Bye.